Happy Saturday. I can't stop smiling. The Paradigm Shift, episode 23. We got a big announcement today. CLS Universe, Instagram world. Hope you're off to an unbelievable start today. Oh, what's up, CLS Experience? Nice to see you. Happy Saturday. Hope you had your coffee and you're ready to rock. Hey, Rebecca. We're going to bring you on in a couple minutes. Yup. Just waiting for the articulate alligator, Big Bay, Dave Meltzer. Everybody's out today. Good morning. How are we all doing? Yup. What's up, Jesse and Alex? Who's ready to get absolutely nuts today? Yes. Rebecca, we're going to bring you on in a minute. We're going to bring on Big Dave right now. And then we're going to bring on Rebecca. We have a very special guest today. Someone who I think is extremely fascinating, interesting. So buckle up. Where is this handsome man? Screwball whiskey, peanut butter. How you doing? No big deal for breakfast.
Exactly. For breakfast, this is my new partner. I have a blessed hat coming out. BLES, the SD for San Diego with Screwball. So I'm all about Screwball. What's up with the crutches behind you? I thought you were healed.
I am. Well, I'm not fully healed. Oh, so I went back. I tell you, I went back to get the 60 out, and the doc's another plot twist, because it'd be weird if it wasn't. The doctor said, you know what? Let's hold them in for one more week just to make sure that the wound is 100% healed, and then you should be good to go. So for a second, I was disappointed, and then with the new perspective, I said, he's right. It's a chess move. It's just another week. The wound will be closed, and then we'll be ready to shock the world.
Yeah, remember, you got to give time to allow things to process. Hopefully it's minutes and moments, not days, weeks, months, and years. But it's okay to grieve something for a few moments, but then you got to move on and be the positive porcupine that you are.
You mean the positive porpoise?
The positive porpoise with the purpose. You're the positive purpose of the porpoise.
Yes, it's been an unbelievable week. So many blessings, and it's not like it happened overnight, right? Like so many seeds have been planted and grinding behind closed doors that other people saw, where other people did not see. But we obviously got some great news this week. Are we telling everyone about it or not yet?
It's up to you, man. If you're going to make it happen, I know that we have good news, and it's yours to share.
Okay, so the very first Paradigm Shift episode that we had, we put a manifestation out that this is going to get picked up by a major network. We didn't necessarily know when it would happen. We just knew that that was the end result. And sure enough, bang! This week we're picked up by a major network. The Paradigm Shift will be on the small screen nationwide and eventually in the movie theaters as well. So
in the movie theaters. It'll be a cartoon, though. It'll be an alligator and a porpoise.
That's it. It's so exciting.
And a starfish. And a starfish. Valoria starfish.
That's it. Can you imagine us, our chemistry on the big screen? It's going to be unbelievable. Like something the world's never seen.
It is going to be so good. Just like this is so good. And I had such a blessing to meet our guest last weekend. And she's an extraordinary mind. So thoughtful and thought-provoking. So I'm super excited. I know we had John Asseroff. We've had the big guns. Clinton Sparks texted me last night. Still reeling after his dive-in episode of the Paradigm Shift. If no one's caught that, they're missing out. So we're just continuing the successful reign with this next guest because she's amazing. You got a quick question for me before we bring her on? Real quick question. Talk about learning how to love yourself. You can't give what you don't have, right? And I really want to emphasize this. So many people grew up under the auspice like me that the more you give, the more you receive. But let me show you how you can give more. And the aspect is of loving yourself. See, if you love yourself this much and then add appreciation to yourself, meaning you add value to yourself by being more interested in interesting, by knowing your what, your who, your how, your now, applying your why to what you do, enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, understanding every single day that we're appreciating, we're adding value. And then you give all that love away, you give it all away, right? With no resistance, no void shortages, obstacles, no reason or impact to oversell, back end sell, lie, manipulate, or cheat. You give all that love away that you have by loving yourself, appreciating yourself. Now you've expanded, and guess what? The love will come pouring into you. You learn to love you, others will learn to love you too. And on the flip side, if you don't, it's hard for others to love you as well. That's why people don't love you. When you are seeking what you don't have, you're never going to receive it. And so what you need to do is look within, find it without. You know that people will be attracted to what you are. You are a beacon. So be a beacon of light, be a beacon of love, and be a beacon of lessons, and you will receive the light, the love, and the lessons that you want by loving yourself. Learn to love you.
Could you be on any more fire today? Trick
Because
question.
you're my screwball, baby. You are the spiritual screwball.
I'm obsessed with you. It's a little weird.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
like it.
guess right now. Everybody, grab your popcorn. Make sure the brain's on.
Grab your popcorn.
Rebecca's coming on right now.
Rebecca, come join us on the CLS experience. Let's shift your paradigm.
There.
Hey.
Hello, gentlemen. Good
How you doing,
morning.
Hi. 2 weekends in a row. People are going to start
2
talking,
weekends
Rebecca.
in a row. I got to meet you in person last weekend. So fun.
Oh, my goodness. You're such a
You
treat.
were so inspiring. I loved your talk.
Oh, you're too kind. Well, you are the expert of narcissism, so I just wish I would have met you years ago, because the more that I do research on narcissistic behavior, the one thing, I had a business partner and I could not understand the silent treatment. And, you know, how now I understand that's part of narcissism, where people don't talk to you and then have you apologize to them and beg for them to talk to you. And you know, I think a lot of people, just like ego, they don't understand narcissistic behavior. They think it's just an egotistical arrogance that is about someone, but it's far deeper and it's far more damaging and creates so much more interference. I want to start with the first question, if it's okay with you, Craig, because we got the world's expert on something that is creating the most interference between the greatest source of light, love, and lessons and everybody else. Is that okay, Craig?
Absolutely.
Cool. What is narcissism?
Yeah, that's the $64,000 question. And I actually I had been teaching about negotiation for years, and I had been practicing law for years, but it wasn't until I actually had a narcissistic business partner myself, David, that it really hit home for me. And when I really started teaching about how to negotiate with a narcissist myself, so I totally understand the drama, trauma, and chaos that they cause. So what a narcissist actually is a person that has no inner sense of value. They have no sense of self. And so they have to get all of their sense of value from external sources. So they layer it on. And what most people think of it as, they layer it on with having the right friends, the right, money, prestige, the big houses, the big cars, all of that sort of thing. But the dark side of that is that control, that sense of devaluing and debasing people. And as you said, silent treatment, ghosting, things like that. And then the other side of that is that they have no ability to have any feeling of care or empathy for other people as well. So that's really it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I love it. And also, like, for the audience that may not be familiar with Rebecca, I just want to say I think this is such an interesting topic because you have so much life experience, right? And it's so much fun to connect with you here today. I've been a fan, and I'm looking forward to building a relationship. But from having kids at such a young age, and then obviously becoming a top attorney, pivoting to a financial advisor, and now you're so uniquely qualified in negotiating life and stuff. And based upon what you just said about being a narcissist, like, I feel like one of the big characteristics, and correct me if I'm wrong because I want to learn, to being a narcissist is insecurity. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, it's insecurity, but hey, all of us have insecurities, right? I mean, that's just part of being a human being. And I also want to point out that part of being a human being is wanting to feel seen, heard, and know that you matter. All of us as human beings want to feel that. So that doesn't make anybody a narcissist. That just makes you a human. And so that's not, and also saying nice things about yourself, that doesn't make you a narcissist either. It's when you're all the way to the end of the spectrum, when you are so far removed that you just, it's almost like it's scarcity mentality to the extreme, where it's almost like a person who has no food or no water or whatever, and they feel like if I give anything to anybody else, that I'm not going to have anything for myself. And so they don't have the ability to give anything to anyone else. You know, David, you started off this this whole show talking about giving, and the more that you give, the more that you receive. And narcissists just they don't understand that mentality at all. Like they feel like if they give, they won't have.
You know, what's so interesting is, as someone who's out there and is blessed to be around, you know, experts, and I use that term expert as someone who has an extreme knowledge. That doesn't mean they know everything, right? I still am going to stand by my philosophy of there's ignorant, humble people like you and ignorant, arrogant people out there. But one of the difficulties of understanding these types of things and how to negotiate with a narcissist and all the different ego-based things that I teach in the separation, inferiority, and superiority is that we're still human, and that even the biggest narcissist has snapshots of kindness. And the nicest and kindest people, the most abundant people, have snapshots of narcissistic behavior or egotistical behavior or fear-based scarce behavior. How do we, you know, separate, you know, this blend of someone that is just having a periodic episode or a snapshot of behavior because they're hungry or agitated or scared for the moment, but overall they're not a complete loss, and yet we only have unique experience of that snapshot. I'm sure in the negotiation side of things, you probably have identified how to identify if it's a snapshot or a chronic behavior.
You know, I mean, you have to look at it over the long term. I mean, because most of the time when it's those snapshots, it's for a reason. It's always for some manipulative reason. They never do it just to give. It's never just because they just want to be a good person, just because they want to put it out there into the universe just to give. It's normally for some strategic reason, because they want it to be seen for some reason. You know, especially covert narcissists. I was just having a conversation on somebody else's podcast about this yesterday, that, you know, a lot of times covert narcissists are like the first ones that, like, if somebody has cancer, like they rush to the person's side so that everybody else can see that this is the person that was the caregiver. And it's kind of like grotesque how they'll use somebody else's sickness as an opportunity to get attention for themselves. But you kind of have to understand that that's what their motive is, and that's what their purpose is. But you have to see it sort of over the long run to understand that that's the manipulation behind it.
I think this is so interesting, and I love the topic of discussion. I love that you specialize in this stuff, because those people are out there, and the manipulative, obviously, and you have to be aware. I had to ask you, Becca, because I am a fan, and I saw you say something that really struck a chord with me, and I think it was so beautiful. You said this: never leave your thoughts unsupervised.
Oh, yeah. I actually had to say that for myself, because because you know, I'm like the worst at it. Like, because if I don't leave my thoughts unsupervised, they go straight to the bad neighborhoods sometimes, you know, like I need to like put David Meltzer on like full on like all the time. Like,
But alligator?
Yeah. After listening to him last weekend, I'm like, okay, I need to listen to this guy all the time. It's like, you know, like, no, I mean, seriously, especially after I, you know, had dealt with that narcissistic business partner, you know, I found myself waking up in the morning and thinking about it, in the middle of the night, you're thinking about it, you know, it's like, you start to like get on this loop of thinking about this stuff. And so I just found, not like when you're working or you're interacting with people, because then obviously your thoughts are there, but it's in those moments when you're walking the dog, or you're in the shower, or you're making dinner, you know, when your thoughts are left on to their own devices, that's when you tend to go off into the gutter, right? So that's when, for me, I want to put on something like an audiobook or you know, a YouTube video or something so that I can like control the input so that I can control the output.
Dave, it's like something you always say. Usually these types of thoughts grow arms and legs right before bed or right when you wake up, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And that's why I created the, cancel, clear, connect routine, that I want to condition my mind, my thoughtfulness as a muscle to protect me. So just like when you were little, if somebody tried to attack you or judge you or hit you or hurt you, somebody would step in front of you to protect you. Well, that's what we do with our thoughts. They actually are vibrating faster than the biggest person, the biggest bodyguards in the world that can step in front of you from somebody hurting you. Your thoughts are so powerful. So when you have these negative, narcissistic, separating thoughts, all you have to do is cancel it with the thought. Tell yourself, cancel, or clear my mind. And the best thing to do is if you can't, and this is where I talk about connecting, if you can't outthink your emotions, which is absolutely in a more vibrational sense, a stronger sense, you can't outthink the stronger emotions, right? Your logic will never overcome worry, for example. Tell yourself, when you're worried, tell yourself, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. You'll still be worried. But action is how we connect to the greatest source. So what I do is I do a kind deed. I do something good. I actually have an activity or an action which will change the way I feel. That then will shift or connect or change that energy, that energy, emotion. And so there's a bunch of techniques to utilize. I have a quick question for Rebecca, because unfortunately I'm a recovering lawyer myself. I've been known to negotiate from scarcity and from abundance now. So about 16 years of my negotiation was from scarcity, and I could oversell, back end sell, lie, manipulate, or cheat anyone very well, by the way, enough to make over $100 million doing it. But I've also negotiated from abundance. And I'd love to, get to more of the nitty gritty of, how do I negotiate or lean into a narcissist? What are the advantages of negotiating with a narcissist if you know they are one?
Well, I mean, I would never say there's an advantage of negotiating with a narcissist, but there are times when you have to negotiate with a narcissist. And so what I teach is how to negotiate in a powerful way with a narcissist. And the way you do that is understand that they're always coming from a place of one thing, and they're always driven by what we call narcissistic supply. And supply is anything that feeds their ego. But what I look at supply, the way I look at supply is that there is a hierarchy of narcissistic supply. So there's what I call diamond level supply for a narcissist, which is always how they look, always. That's their diamond level supply. So, you can look at that first. And then there's what I call the coal level supply, which is like it's also really important to them, but a little less important, which is devaluing people, intimidating people, making them squirm, all that sort of thing. So in the negotiation process, they love both. They want to keep both. They're like vultures. Like they look at this carcass and there's still meat on the carcass and they want to keep it all. But if there's like a better source of supply somewhere else, they're going to want to keep how they look more so than intimidating people. So if there's a way to create strategy, so I call it my SLAY methodology, slay your negotiation. So you develop strategy, leverage, anticipating, and focusing on you, your case and your position. And so the strategy and the leverage piece of it is developing a strategy that allows for you to ethically manipulate the manipulator in such a way that potentially threatens a source of narcissistic supply that's more important for them to keep than the supply that they get from intimidating you and jerking you around.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to write my next book, The Ethical Manipulator.
Yeah, exactly.
Saturday morning gems, wisdom. The guest is so fascinating, Rebecca. I love everything that you do, and I think I never saw someone that's an expert in this particular field. So I just think it's so valuable. And we'll end it with this. I have to ask you. I think Dave's gonna love this one too. I know that you said this, and this one struck a chord as well. Defend your light with your life.
Absolutely. That's what I do all the time. And honestly, going back to you guys, you were talking you briefly mentioned about your vibrational energy, and that is so, so important to me. I mean, I know that, I'm always trying to make sure that I'm vibrating at the highest level of energy. And if I feel that somebody is vibrating at low levels, I do not it is so clear boundaries for me. I'm not letting them in because I can't, it has to be, I wish them well, but over there, it has to be.
And get older, your list of friends gets a little shorter, right? Because it's quality over quantity.
But you know what? That's good. That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, let me give you a different way to look at that, Craigie. So I think that my relativity has expanded, that I'm more relative to more people. But those people that feed me and identify as feeding me is smaller. I used to lie to myself that I needed everyone to love me or to feed me, and to realize that I was spending most of my feeding time with people that were bleeding me, and I wasn't getting the productivity or accessibility or the gratitude that I wanted. And so I think in a sense of relativity, that you want to be more relative, more impactful, more empowering to more people. But in the sense of understanding who feeds us, only a few people feed us. And we want to make sure that the majority of our resources are put towards those people that feed us. And in order to feed us, they have to be vibrationally aligned with us. They have to be on our frequency. And we can't allow other people to diminish, dissolve, or dissipate the incredible source of light that we have in us. And that's what Rebecca has done so eloquently here, and with some of the most difficult people, lawyers and narcissists. I just have to ask this question. It's non-political, but is President Trump a narcissist?
He actually says that he is, and he's proud of it.
Right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that when you were describing it, and I think sometimes being a narcissist makes you a great leader, because you're manipulating and, hammering all the other people of other nations for the good of our nation. So, talk about ethical manipulation. You could take a narcissist. It's just like I have certain people in my organization that are very good at certain things that nobody else can do, because we have so many optimists in my company. You need somebody that's going to go down the rabbit hole and be skeptical and have, or else your organization won't be balanced. If you have everybody walking around, I love you, you love me, there, everything's true in the universe. You need someone to vet as well. So anyway, I love that balance. Rebecca, you're incredible. Craigie, how are we going to finish this up? Because I got to jump, or you can leave you too.
Yeah, I just wanted one more bonus question. And Dave, if you could just stay for a second, so I wanted you to hear the question, then you can have something you spoke about in my mastermind a couple weeks back. And Rebecca, I know you speak about this too. I think this is so cool and so valuable for the audience. Always, no matter what, speak with authority, even if you don't know the answer.
Yeah, well, my dad used to say, whatever you say it with authority and people will believe you. But, even if you don't know what it is that what the answer is, you can just say, I don't know the answer to that, and I will get back to you. I mean, you say it with authority, speak with integrity at all times, but, say it with authority. The person who speaks with the most authority and the most confidence in any conversation, whether it's a negotiation or not, is usually the person who gets what they want.
Amen. Dave, you agree?
Absolutely. Clarity, balance, and focus equals confidence. So the person that is clarist, balanced, and focused on what they want will always get what they want, right? What you pay attention to and what you give intention to, what you think, say, do, believe, and knowing your own unconscious competencies, personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions, including narcissism. Those that have clarity, balance, and focus absolutely will be the most confident and be able to get what they want in all aspects of life. So completely aligned and in agreement as usual with Rebecca. I can't wait to do more with her. I apologize, but I have to run. I love you both.
Thank you guys. Thank you both so much.
Yeah, and Rebecca, I love you. Congratulations on the show getting picked up. That's both of our win.
Craig is a screwball. I love him. Bye, buddy.
But and also Rebecca, I just want to say something that you told me today that I think is so cool is that there's ethical manipulation, right? Like even like convincing a relative who doesn't want to get checked out to go to the doctor and then identify that maybe they have cancer in an earlier stage to get that taken care of. Like manipulation isn't always 100% negative if it's ethical. And I love that you touch upon that.
Absolutely. Well, you're going to be manipulated either way, so you might as well do it ethically.
Yeah, 100%. What do you got going on this weekend? Anything crazy?
I am going to dinner, going to see friends, you know, fun things, right? You might as well live your life with intention and purpose.
Exactly. Life is meant to be lived. We're only here for a short amount of time. And I love that you said intentional and purpose, because that's how that we'll get what we desire, is when we're intentional about it. So much fun today. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to have to email you. We definitely have to do more. We'll get you on the CLS Experience podcast, and super excited to build a relationship and continue to watch you spread your wings.
Absolutely. Would be awesome. Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a great weekend, Rebecca.
You too. Bye-bye.
So much fun, guys. The Paradigm Shift, episode 23 in the books, picked up by a major network. I know it's not necessarily a surprise because that's what the thought I put out there into the universe. This is what we manifested, Dave and I, from the very first episode. Go back and watch it. We said this will get picked up by a major network. Did I think it would happen by episode 23? Maybe not. But I want to leave the audience with this. Something I was speaking about yesterday on Transparency Hour is as follows. Are you interested or are you committed? Big difference. Think about that one for the weekend. If you're interested, you'll start. But when the obstacle comes, then you'll be out. If you're committed, you'll see it through. And also what Rebecca just said, when you live with intention and focus and on purpose, you will manifest the things to happen to you. A lot of the problem is people don't know exactly what they want. They don't put it out there into the universe, and they go like this. But when you live intentionally, focused, with a purpose, then the seas begin to part. Everything starts to happen. Guys, if you're not already in the CLS texting blast, text the number on the bottom of the screen. Text the word Paradigm Shift, and we send out free inspiration trainings every single day. Don't worry, we won't bombard you. It's all beautiful stuff. I love you all so much. This time next week, hopefully, there'll be no need for that crutch. The stitches will be out, and who knows what's going to happen. Big bro, I see you. Love you, bro, so much. So all amazing things, guys, all blessings, but it wouldn't happen if we don't live without intention and focus. Just like the Paradigm Shift, we said episode 1, it'll get picked up by a major network, and here we are. We're going to be nationwide on a TV coming to all of you very soon. Are you interested or are you committed? There's a big difference. Love you all so much. We'll see you next week on the Paradigm Shift, episode 24. Have a great weekend.